Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
An episode of radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense. This episode, from April 17th, 1956, stars Stacy Harris in an episode entitled The Seventh Letter.
And now, tonight's presentation of radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense. Tonight, we bring you a story of the death of a postman and the search for a missing letter. We call it The Seventh Letter. So now, starring Stacy Harris, here is tonight's suspense play, The Seventh Letter.
"7L32, request detectives at corner Hatteras and Roblar Streets. Notify the coroner."
The place, a suburban residential area near a large city in Southern California. The time, 4:15 a.m. The body of a man had been found by a police patrol unit. The body was dressed in the blue-gray of the post office department, and a truck belonging to that department was at the curb. A letterbox nearby had been unlocked and stood open. 6 letters from that box were on the sidewalk near the body. The postman had been on a collection run. Someone had stopped him from completing that run by placing a knife in his back. 90 seconds after the police officer contacted communications, the message was relayed to a divisional detective bureau.
Well, why don't you tell me once more, Doctor?
Yes.
I've already told you.
Yeah, I've got
I
it.
don't believe that, Lodge.
Hatteras and Roblar.
True.
Right.
Now, come on, Lodge. Tell me, what were you doing in that alley? I told you I couldn't sleep, so I took a walk.
In an alley at 3:30 in the morning?
I was on my way home when those officers...
Now, don't lie to me, mister. You know what you were doing behind those houses, so do I.
I wasn't doing anything.
Were the lights on in any of them?
I didn't know.
Now, come on, level with me, mister.
I am.
Lieutenant? In a minute. Lodge, how long you been married?
2 years.
Practically a newlywed, huh? How's your wife going to feel about you now?
Please, I've never been in any trouble.
Say before.
What?
Before. Say it.
Before.
Okay, now you're learning. What is it, so?
Hot one just came in. We better roll.
All right, have Johnson book this peeping Tom.
Oh, no, please, I've got a family. I've got
Get him out of here,
responsibilities.
Let's go, mister.
Please.
Meet you out in the hall.
I was only taking a walk.
You can explain it to the court in the morning.
You don't believe me either, do you?
Doesn't matter what I believe. The lieutenant said book you. Hey, Johnson?
Yeah?
I'll pray for him.
What?
The lieutenant, I'll pray for him.
What's the charge, Saul?
Bag, prowler.
Empty your pockets, mister. Put your stuff on the counter.
Everything?
Everything.
Saul, what do we got?
32 found a body. Lieutenant, you really think you should book that man? He wasn't on private property. No one called in a complaint.
Tomorrow morning, he'll walk out of here congratulating himself. And tomorrow night, he'll be back on his window route.
What makes you so sure?
Saul, you ever committed a felony?
No.
You ever wanted to?
Well,
Everybody has. What stopped you?
I guess I was afraid I'd be caught.
Well, that's what keeps most of them in line. The rest are too dumb to be afraid of the law. They got a wire crossed. Figure they can outsmart it.
But nobody's completely honest, huh, Lieutenant?
Nobody, Saul.
Oh, come on. Now, you don't really
Look, when you've been here a while, you won't argue with me. Where's that body?
Hatteras and Roblar.
What?
What's the matter?
I live on Hatteras, just a block from that corner.
The time, 4:43 a.m. Lieutenant Joseph Carter and Sergeant Saul Morris arrived at the suburban intersection. A few minutes later, a unit from the department's crime lab arrived, followed by a postal inspector. By checking the collection times indicated on the mailbox, the time of death was set at 2:55 a.m. The uniformed officers searched the area, but the murder weapon was not found. The time, 5:07 a.m.
You find out anything, Mac?
Yeah, Lieutenant. Lots of sound sleepers in this neighborhood.
Is that all?
Well, that's it. Nobody heard nothing.
Okay. Thanks. Saul?
Coming, Lieutenant.
Well, how about it? Where's his ID?
The coroner got it off his driver's license. Here.
Henry R. Gilligan, 1314 West Latham, age 52. Case of accident, notify Elizabeth Gilligan. Well, see if somebody does that, so.
Yes, sir.
Oh, do you have anything else in his pockets?
Just the usual. Keys, cigarettes, matches, some money.
How much?
$17 and some change.
Oh, Lieutenant.
Yes, Inspector?
The crime lab boys want to take those letters downtown.
Well, that's your department.
Oh, it's all right. But you can't hold up the mail, you know. I'll have to have them back this afternoon.
You'll have them. How many letters did you find?
6.
Any of them have a return address on the envelope?
All but one. I made a list of the letters, who they were going to, and the 5 return addresses.
Well, I'd appreciate a copy if it isn't too much trouble.
Oh, no trouble at all. I'll do it right away.
Okay to take the body in?
Yeah, they can have him.
All right, come on, you guys. All right.
He doesn't look 52. Guess that's from being outside so much.
Yeah.
There we go.
Neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor gloom of night saves these couriers.
What's that?
Something a Greek historian wrote. Starting to get light.
Yeah. Hey, you want a cigar?
No, thanks.
You see that white picket fence down there?
Yeah, I believe I do. At your place?
Mm-hmm. A boy and I painted that fence last Sunday.
Sure seems funny. A murder in a section like this.
Oh, how do you mean?
Well, it's such a nice, quiet neighborhood.
Well, that's what we're looking for. Nice, quiet killer.
After a final word with the postal inspector, the 2 detectives drove slowly through the nearby streets. Another mailbox was located 3 blocks from the intersection of Hatteras and Roblar. At 5:52 a.m., they checked back into division headquarters.
All right, Saul, let's get on that report, huh?
Right. I sure can't figure out why anybody would want to kill a postman.
Oh?
You got an angle?
Johnson?
Yeah, Lieutenant?
Who's the screamer?
His name's Gillis. Narcotics picked him up a few minutes ago. The doc's looking him over.
Hope they don't keep him down here all night.
They won't.
Saul. Saul, suppose you'd mailed a letter down there last night. After the 8:30 pickup.
Yeah.
Long about midnight, you decided you wanted it back. What would you have done?
Well, I'd have been there at 2:55 and asked Gilligan to return it to me.
Yeah, except he wouldn't have given it back to you. Once a letter's mailed, it's against postal regulations to return it.
Well, then I'd have forgotten about it.
Would you? Or would you have killed to get it back?
Oh, now, Lieutenant. What could anybody write in a letter that'd be that important?
I don't know, so. I don't know, but somebody does.
You think that's what happened?
Well, what else could it be? 7 letters were mailed, Saul. The person that mailed the 7th was waiting there when Gilligan arrived. Saw Gilligan take the mail out of the box, and he approached him, asked him for his letter. Gilligan refused to give it to him. They argued, and one thing led to another, and the knife ended the argument. The mail was rifled, the letter found. Whoever did it went home to bed.
It sounds good.
It is good. Look, we know 6 people mailed letters in that box. We've got the letters, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We find the person that mailed that 7th letter. We got our killer.
By checking the city directory, they made a list of the families living in the area nearest the mailbox at Hatteras and Roblar. The list was then sent to the Records Bureau, where a make was run on every person on it between the ages of 14 and 70. After being relieved by the day watch, Carter reported to his superior and advanced his theory concerning the death of the postman. He was told to check it out. The time, 8:24 a.m.
Joe?
Yeah, Louise.
We're in the kitchen. Pop, we heard all about it on the news.
Oh, that's so?
Yeah, boy, a murder right in our own block. Are you going to catch him?
I'm going to try.
You know who did it?
Bobby, sit down and finish your breakfast.
Oh, golly.
You want to eat before you go to bed, Joe?
Not going to bed this morning.
You're not? Oh, when you going to sleep?
Tonight. I've been put on days a while.
So you can catch the murderer, huh? Boy, I hope you get it before Monday so I can tell all the kids at school.
Bobby, if you finish, go outside and play. Huh?
Aw, Pop.
Bobby, Jimmy's out in his backyard.
Okay, Mom. If you promise you'll look around for my stout knife.
All right, dear, I'll look.
See you later, Pop. Maybe Jimmy and me will go down to the corner and see the blood.
Here's your coffee, Joe.
Thanks.
If you want anything besides the cereal, you'll have to fix it.
Oh, what's the matter?
Same old thing.
Another one of your headaches?
Mm-hmm.
Call the doctor?
Yeah, I have an appointment at 9. Margaret's taking me.
Margaret Richards?
Yeah. Joe, if you're going to take off your coat, take that gun off, too, will you? Put it somewhere.
All right. Oh, what'd you do last night?
Bobby and I went over to Mrs. Gaither's for a while. She was having one of those cookingware parties.
What time did you get to sleep?
About 3. I was reading.
You better start getting more rest or you'll wind up back in that sanitarium.
What do you want me to do, Joe? Just sit here every night with my hands folded? I'm tired of looking at these walls.
Okay.
You're never home except to sleep. Even when you are, you don't take me out.
All right, forget it, huh? Hand me the milk, will you? Thanks. When you get back, I got a list I want you to take a look at.
What list is that?
Suspects. You know most of them.
Well, let me see it now.
Here.
John and Nancy Robinson, Bert and Margaret Ritt. Well, Joe, these are neighbors, friends of ours.
One of them killed that postman.
Well, if you believe that, you shouldn't be on this case.
Well, why not?
Because of Bobby and me. We live here, too, you know. You can't make a friend one day and have your husband suspect him of being a criminal the next.
One of them has done big time.
I don't believe it.
Well, ask your friend, Bert Richards.
Bert? Margaret's husband?
Hmm? He did 2 years for assault.
Are you sure?
Sure, I'm sure. I ran a make on all of them.
When was he in?
4 years ago.
Well, then Margaret knows. She's never told me.
I want you to ask Margaret if Bert mailed a letter after 8:30 last night.
What if he did?
Well, we found 6 letters down at the corner. I think 7 were mailed.
I've got to go.
Will you ask her for me?
I'm coming, Margaret.
Louise?
I don't know, Joe. I don't know. I'll have to think about it.
Hi. Well, Louise, you don't look sick.
Well, I'm not really sick.
Oh, God. Pop,
Come in here, Bobby.
Jimmy Claymore and me went down the corner. There wasn't no blood or nothing.
I know.
How do you figure you're going to catch that murderer, Pop? You got a plan?
Yeah.
Boy, I sure wish I could help you.
Well, maybe you can, Bobby. If you really want to.
If I want to. Pop!
Okay. Now, you got to promise not to talk about any of this to anybody.
Well, I promise God's honor.
Okay, that's fine, Bobby.
What do you want me to do first?
Well, I got to find out a few things about our neighbors, Bob.
Like what?
Well, like... Jimmy's father worked nights and days.
Days. He switched over a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm. Well, why don't you ask Jimmy if his father mailed a letter late last night, huh?
A letter? Why?
Because I got to know the name of every person who was near that corner between 8:30 last night, 2:55 this morning.
Oh. In case somebody saw the killer, huh, Pop?
That's right, son.
Well, if somebody did, don't you think he'd come and tell you?
Might not. Might be afraid to.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll ask him, only...
Only what, Bobby?
Well, I already know somebody who went down to that corner late last night.
Oh? Who?
Mom.
Your mother? What'd you go down there for?
Mail a letter?
You are listening to The Seventh Letter, tonight's presentation in radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
April 17th, 1950, Suspense on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Hi, this is Kyle Horvath with the White Pine County Tourism and Recreation Board. If you want to get away from the big cities and get back to nature this summer, give us a call at 775-289-3720 or visit us online at elinevada.net. There's so much to do and see I can't mention it in 30 seconds, but check out our website and you'll see what Nevada is really all about. elinevada.net or follow us on Facebook or Instagram. Give us a call at 775-289-3720 or visit us online at elinevada.net.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. More of Suspense, April 17th, 1956.
And now we bring back to our Hollywood soundstage Stacy Harris, starring in tonight's production, The Seventh Letter. A tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
The time, 8:47 a.m. After learning that his wife had left the house late the night before to mail a letter, Carter checked the list of the 6 letters found near the postman's body. 5 of the letters held the return address. The 6th was addressed to a Mr. James Young in care of a local hotel. Carter had never heard of Mr. Young. Time, 9:57 a.m. Louise Carter and her friend Margaret Richards had left the doctor's office and entered a nearby drugstore.
Want some cream in your coffee, Margaret?
With this figure? No, thanks.
I wish I could gain a few pounds. Doctor does, too.
What'd he say? Are you all right?
Oh, yes. He says I worry too much.
Yeah, don't we all?
Yeah.
Louise, is Joe investigating that murder?
Yes. He's working with the homicide department on it.
Well, Bert wanted me to ask you. He's got a crazy idea that he might be a suspect.
Bert? Oh, for heaven's sakes, why?
Well, Look, Louise, I never told this to another soul in our neighborhood. And if you weren't my dearest friend, I'd never...
You can trust me. You know you can.
Well, a few years ago, Bert got into a fight. When he was getting the worst of it, he picked up a bottle to defend himself. Of course, he didn't hurt anybody with it, but they arrested him just the same.
How long was he in?
Oh, just overnight. Just as soon as they knew all the circumstances. But they even apologized.
Oh. Well, if it wasn't serious.
Of course it wasn't. But try and convince Bert. See, he's afraid Joe will find out about that and, get the wrong idea.
Well, you tell Bert he hasn't a thing to worry about.
Oh, thanks, honey.
As a matter of fact, Joe's looking for someone who mailed a letter in that box last night.
A letter?
Mm-hmm. What is it?
I sent Bert down to mail a letter just after midnight.
(10:15 a.m.) Carter checked with the homicide men assigned to the case. Mrs. Gilligan had been unable to furnish them with any possible motive for her husband's murder. And according to her, Gilligan had no known enemies. The autopsy report showed that the wound had been made by a pocket or switchblade knife. 10:47 a.m. Carter arrived at the crime lab. He was joined there by the postal inspector. They were informed that none of the envelopes had held a clear set of fingerprints. 11:05. They examined the letter addressed to James Young.
Certainly nothing distinctive about the envelope, is there?
No. Inspector, could you open it, please?
Oh, sure. Looks like a greeting card of some kind. I hope it's one of those funny ones. Here you are.
Happy birthday from Uncle Bert and Aunt Margaret.
Well, that isn't very original. Is it any help, Lieutenant? Lieutenant?
No, it's not very original.
Is it any help?
Oh, no.
Well, that's the way it goes. I might as well put these letters in my briefcase. I didn't know Gilligan, but some of the boys who did thought the best of him. They can't imagine why anyone would want to kill him.
No. Neither can I.
We're all hoping to catch the person that did it.
Yeah. Are you ready, Inspector?
Yes, indeed. You call us anytime. We'll always do our best to help.
There was no doubt left in his mind now. He knew who had written the 7th letter. The time, 12:01 p.m. He arrived home.
Louise?
Hi, Pop.
Oh, where's your mother? She back yet?
No, she'll be home soon. She called a few minutes ago.
Taking everything out of your dresser for?
I'll put it all back.
I just don't forget.
Hey, Pop.
Yeah.
Have you seen my scout knife?
I seen your what?
My scout knife. Mom promised to help me find it, but she never did.
No, when'd you lose it?
Well, I don't know. We have a troop meeting this afternoon. I want... Hey, is that Mom?
Bobby, if it is your mother.
Yeah, I'll ask her.
Bobby, wait, come here.
Yeah?
Now, look, I've got something important to say to your mother.
But this is important, too. Our meeting's at 1:30. Bobby?
You want to help me catch that murderer, don't you?
Well, sure.
Then you stay here, son.
Oh, Joe, I didn't know you were home. Where's Bobby?
He's in his room.
The doctor gave me another prescription. Some pills for my nerves. And you should have heard Margaret lying about Bert. According to her, he was only in jail overnight.
You asked her about him, huh?
Yes.
She say anything about him mailing a letter last night?
Yes.
Well, did he?
She said that he did, yes.
Looks like he killed that man, doesn't it?
Does it?
And the conclusion of Suspense, April 17th, 1956, follows these important words from your favorite station. I'm Wyatt Cox, and thank you for spending some time with us on Classic Radio Theater.
Are you suffering with arthritis or osteoporosis? Do you have diabetes? Did you know that these are just 2 of the hundreds of diseases that have seen improvement with Dr. Wallach's incredible longevity products? You can't get them at a health food store. The only way to get them is to call us at 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Do you have heart disease, fibromyalgia, or high blood pressure? Do you have a terrible time losing weight? Dr. Wallach can help. He was a veterinarian and cured diseases in animals. He felt that he could do the same for humans, so he became a physician. Over 50 years of research and helping people like you goes into every bottle of Dr. Wallach's amazing discoveries. Do you want to feel better? Learn how to treat the cause of your problem rather than covering up the symptoms with drugs. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065.
It's a big, bold story set in the heartland of America, along the edge of Lonely Mountain. I am open for business. And so Big William Gorgon, played by handsome Michael James, fiercely set down his Midwest roots.
Oh, darling, we're going to sell bathrobes and raise chickens.
Set his adoring wife, Wilhelmina, portrayed by beautiful Glenda Olsen.
Oh, I love our store, Will.
But they hadn't counted on Big Ralph's bathrobes and cattle store coming to town.
Oh, Will, what will we do, Will?
Will had a plan, a way of facing off against tough Big Ralph. We're going to change the face of America. We're going to advertise.
Adver what?
With print and broadcasting and bus benches, we're going to tell people who we are and where we are.
What's a bus?
And so the story of how one man brought advertising to the heartland.
Oh, will it work?
It will. Well, my name ain't Will, Wilhelmina. You got to advertise or we'll die. And so the greatest marketing story of all time is here. Advertise or die, dopey.
Put your message on this national advertising platform. Email classicradiotheater@gmail.com. classicradiotheater@gmail.com. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of Suspense, the 7th letter, April 17th, 1956.
I want to change my dress. Did you fix Bobby any lunch?
No.
Do you want anything?
Not now. Louise?
Hmm?
What could be written in a letter that would be worth a man's life?
Really, Joe, I haven't time to play games.
This is no game.
Well, I don't know.
You lie.
Joe.
You mailed a letter last night.
No.
Don't lie to me, Louise. Bobby told me.
Bobby told you. You questioned Bobby about me? I was one of your suspects, but instead of coming to me, you questioned Bobby?
Louise, tell me about the letter.
All my life I've heard that a man had to have something wrong with him to want to be a cop, but I never believed it till now.
Now, this morning you knew what I was looking for, but you didn't open your mouth. Just now, you were going to let me believe Bert Richards killed that man, and we both know who did.
No.
You know something about it? Come on, Louise, what was in that letter?
I didn't mail any letter.
I'll get Bobby in here. I'll find out which one of you is lying.
Joe, wait. I went out to mail it. I told Bobby I was going to, but I changed my mind before I got to the corner.
Is that the truth?
Well, if it isn't, you'd beat it out of me, wouldn't you?
Where's the letter now?
It's in my purse.
Is this it?
Yes.
It's to your sister.
And I wish I'd mailed it.
Dear Belle, just a note to let you know I understand and appreciate your thoughts about Joe and me. But it's too late. Too many things have happened. I've made up my mind to leave him. You've what? Here. Come on. You finish reading it.
No, please.
Go on, read it.
For a while just after I came out of the sanitarium, Oh, Joe.
Go on, Louise, go on.
Joe was his old self. But that lasted only a few days. It's hard for me to tell you about Joe and the way he treats me. His only love is his job and the power that goes with it. He hasn't time for me or for Bobby. He's forgotten how to be a husband. Oh, Joe, I can't.
Hello. Yeah. Yeah. Are you sure? Okay. Thanks for calling. I found out who killed the postman. It's a man named Gillis, an addict. He decided to talk after being off the stuff all day. Last night he thought he was being tailed, so he dropped some stuff he was holding into the mailbox, and when he went back to get it, the postman refused to give it to him. Louise, I don't suppose there's anything I can say?
No.
You sure it's too late? I mean, there's just no chance at all? Why didn't you mail that letter last night?
Mom?
I told you, Joe, I changed my mind.
Well, why? Why? What was the reason?
Mom, aren't you going to help me find my knife?
Don't you know, Joe? Or have you forgotten about him, too? Come on, Bobby, dear, I'll help you. Come on.
Suspense, in which Stacy Harris starred in tonight's presentation of The Seventh Letter. Be sure to listen again next week when we bring you another presentation of radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense. Suspense is produced and directed in Hollywood by Anthony Ellis. Tonight's story was written by Charles B. Smith. The music was composed by Lucian Morawick and directed by Wilbur Hatch. Featured in the cast were John Daner, Harley Fair, Victor Perrin, George Walsh, Vivi Jenis, Richard Beals, Paula Winslow, and Jim Nusser.
April 17th, 1956, Suspense on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Are you in bad pain? You know what I mean. Your knees hurt. Your shoulder hurts. Your elbow and back are constantly killing you. And I'm sure you've tried every pain pill or cream available at the drugstore. Am I right? Well, here's something you haven't tried. Pain Magic. Pain Magic is not available at any drugstore. The only place you can get it is by calling the special toll-free number I'm about to give you.
And to make things even better, call right now and find out about our buy one, get one free offer. We're so confident it'll work for you that we offer a free bottle with your purchase. No prescription required.
Call now to learn how you can get Pain Magic and get rid of your pain. Remember, your results may vary.
800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. That's 800-492-8164.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, Part 2 of the 5-part Yours Truly Johnny Dollar story, The Shepherd Matter. This episode originally broadcast April 12th, 1956.
From Hollywood, it's time now for...
Johnny Dollar.
Dick Porter, Mr. Dollar.
Hi.
Did you check on Dr. Shepard?
Yeah.
Do I write up his policies?
Well, that's up to you, Mr. Porter. Dr. Shepard's life has been threatened.
What?
That's according to him. And the man who threatened his life has definite homicidal tendencies, also according to Dr. Shepard.
Well, well, what do you think?
Porter, I think Dr. Shepard's a liar.
Tonight and every weekday night, Bob Bailey in the transcribed adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Richard Porter, 480 Webster Boulevard, Providence, Rhode Island. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the Shepherd matter. More expenses. Item 3, 26 cents. 1 bottle of aspirin for Mr. Porter. I felt he was going to need it.
I hope you aren't trying to be funny, Mr. Dollar.
I'm not, Mr. Porter. I think you've got a tough decision to make. I know that the commission on $80,000 worth of insurance would be high.
Sit down.
Oh, thanks. Mr. Porter, Dr. Shepard told me he bought, or tried to buy, all that insurance because he thought a man named Forbes was going to kill him. He bought it, he said, to make certain his mother is well provided for. He was carrying a .32 Colt. Now, he spoke of treating Forbes' wife and of advising her that divorce would settle her health problem. Mr. Forbes didn't like that and accused Shepard of trying to wreck his home, and, well, that's about it.
Now, what have we got?
Well, your Dr. Shepard is either nuts or an idiot or the cleverest man alive. I don't know. I do know I believed about 1/2 of what he told me. Maybe less.
What reason would he have to lie?
Beats me. If someone threatened your life or mine, we'd turn to the police for help. Now, Shepard won't do that. Insists that it would probably be hazardous in the case of his patient, Mrs. Forbes.
Well, I don't want to write up this policy if what he says is true. But I don't want to pass up the commission if it isn't true. Can you stick around town for another day or two and find out about it?
I'll do what I can, Mr. Porter. Go ahead. Have an aspirin. He had an aspirin and I had a car ride. Once again, out to the offices of Dr. Shepard. The same things were more or less going on in the same way. His nurse, Miss Streeter, appeared as distraught as ever when she recognized me. There was a quick dabbing at the eyes, a straightening of the hair before she spoke.
Good morning, Mr. Dollar.
Hello. Like to see the doctor again.
He was calling Mr. Porter's office trying to locate you. I'll buzz him. Mr. Dollar, do you have anything to do with why Doctor's been carrying a gun?
No. That's his business.
In other words, I should mind my business.
Well, I'm being honest. I've advised him what to do in the matter.
What matter?
He'll have to explain that to you, Miss Streeter. It doesn't make much sense to me.
You can go back now.
Okay, thanks.
Hello, Mr. Dollar.
Hello, Doctor.
You were pretty insulting yesterday.
I'm sorry about that, but we both have a problem to solve. And I get paid sometimes for deliberately insulting people.
You're a strange one.
Do you want to change your story about all this?
I wish I could change it. It's still a mess, a bad mess. I thought it all out last night, and I still must hold to my original thinking. I have to place my concern for my patient, Mrs. Forbes, before anything else.
In other words, you won't call the police and tell them your life's been threatened.
No, and you're very stubborn about that part. I don't think you comprehend the situation at all.
Look, wait a minute. Let's understand each other, Doctor. If this man Forbes is all you say he is, and you say you're the expert on homicidal tendencies,
Then the best thing for you to do is to prefer charges against him for threatening your life and have him locked up. Now, you could do that, according to what you've told me about Mrs. Forbes and a servant in their home witnessing his threats.
I will try to explain again. I can't do that for Mrs. Forbes' sake. I just can't. She's been through a shattering ordeal. I must attempt to resolve this quietly. Now, true, I can generally anticipate a man's actions inside my office under clinical conditions, but well, Forbes is different. That's why I tried to contact you today. Someone like you could approach Forbes and possibly persuade him to discard his ideas of violence. Probably do it in a quiet way, too. What does Mr. Porter pay you?
Well, what's that got to do with it?
I'm willing to pay you. I mean, you and I don't seem to get along very well, but I phoned Porter, and he tells me you're one of the best men in your line of business. I'll pay you to go to Paul Forbes and talk to him as I've described.
I can't figure you, Doctor.
Now, let's you and I not get into any personality arguments. Will you do this for me for your regular fee?
I was going to do it anyhow, for Mr. Porter and the fee he pays me. I just wanted to check you first. I'll do it, but I still think it's a matter for the police.
All right, let's leave it this way. You go talk to Forbes. If you think he means to kill me, then I'll call the police and prefer charges against him, patient or no patient. How's that?
That sounds a little more sensible, Doctor. I took down the home address of Paul Forbes and climbed in my rented car and drove over to his home in the gilded edge of the city. A story-and-a-half colonial with all the trimmings. Lawns, trees, Plymouth convertible, a push-button station wagon in the garage. It was a nice warm spring day, and some flowers were blooming and smelling up the area in a very nice way. Flies buzzed, bees droned, birds sang. And I went up and pressed the doorbell. I should have gone butterfly catching or taken a plane to Spokane.
Yeah?
I'm looking for Paul Forbes. Does he live here?
Yeah, he sure does. I'm Forbes.
Mr. Forbes, my name is Johnny Dollar.
Dollar?
Yeah, and I came over to talk to you.
You get out of my way!
The front of his gun slapped against the side of my head, and I went down to my knees. The door slammed somewhere, and someone ran away. I twisted around, trying to see what it was all about. And then I managed to get to my feet in time to see Paul Forbes plunging the Plymouth out the driveway and heading I don't know where.
My goodness. What happened here? Where's Mr. Forbes? You hurt?
Yeah, I'll be...
Oh, Miss Forbes! Miss Forbes! Oh, let me help you, sir. Yeah, give me your arm.
Yeah.
We better sit you down over here.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, my goodness gracious, sir. How did this happen?
Mr. Forbes swung a gun at me.
Oh, no, sir, no, sir. Oh, no, sir. No, easy, sir. Easy.
Thanks.
Now, let's sit down here.
What happened here?
I'm afraid Mr. Forbes attacked this gentleman, Miss Forbes.
Call the doctor up and then go to my medicine chest and get some swabs and a pan of cold water.
Right away, ma'am.
Wait, the doctor isn't necessary. It just made me dizzy.
You're cut. It might be deep. Well, get the first aid things and some brandy, Upton.
Right away, ma'am.
This is unforgivable, just unforgivable conduct. Please, I don't know who you are. Are you a friend of Paul's?
No, I'm Johnny Dollar. I wanted to discuss with your husband and something. I take it you're Mrs. Forbes.
Yes. Oh, Upton, set them right here.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You feeling a little better, sir?
I don't know yet. Hey, let me try some of that.
Yes, certainly, sir. Certainly. Here we go, sir. Easy now. Easy.
Thanks.
How does it look to you, Upton?
Well, I believe it's not too deep, Mrs. Forbes. How's it feel, Mr. Dollar?
No, I don't think it's very deep. I'll be all right in a minute.
Upton, go telephone Dr. Shepard and tell him to come over here immediately.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Dollar, I can't tell you how sorry I am for this. You can bring suit against us. You can do anything you want to, Mr. Dollar. Paul's temper is just ungovernable these days. He could have killed you. He took the car and ran.
Yeah.
I don't know what's gotten into it. 2 nights ago, he attacked my personal physician, threatened to kill him. And now he's attacked you for no reason at all.
Any idea where he might have gone?
Heaven only knows. Mad. That's what he is, Mr. Dollar. He's mad.
Pauline Forbes had a right to be scared from what I'd seen of her and from what I'd seen of her husband. He was an angry man with a gun in his hand, slugging at anyone in sight. She was a distraught woman with a darkening spot underneath her right eye, and it wasn't mascara. I began to wonder who needed more looking after, Dr. Shepard, Mrs. Forbes, or Johnny Dollar.
Now, you just lie still now, sir.
Huh, why?
I guess you kind of fainted a little bit. Is there anything I can get you, sir?
No. Just tell me about Mr. Forbes.
I beg your pardon, sir?
Look, I'm an insurance investigator. I came here today to talk to Mr. Forbes about threatening Dr. Shepard's life.
Well, I wouldn't want to talk out of turn, sir. You better discuss that with Miss Forbes.
Now, just one question. Did Mr. Forbes threaten Dr. Shepard's life?
Yes, sir.
You heard him?
I did, sir. He attacked Dr. Shepard here 2 nights ago.
Did he also attack Mrs. Forbes?
Mr. Dollar, this is an unhappy house. Things have gone all wrong here these last few months. Mr. Forbes changed. Miss Forbes, I don't know. But please don't ask me to speak up against anyone.
I'm just trying to find out the best thing to do for everybody concerned.
What can you do, sir?
Well, I didn't think anything like this had happened.
Terrible, Doctor. Terrible.
This about settles it. Now, I want you to go up to your room and lie down. There's no sense in your getting any more excited.
I want to see about Mr. Dollar first.
Oh, good morning, Doctor.
Hello, Upton. Let's have a look at this, Dollar. Get that light.
Yes, sir.
How is it?
Well, I don't think it's anything worse than a cut. How do you feel, Dollar?
Oh, an aspirin might straighten me out.
I hope so. Upton?
Yes, I'll get some, sir.
Dollar, I should have taken your advice yesterday. I'm going to take it now. I'm going to call the police and have this man arrested. He might kill somebody next time.
Yeah, am I all right?
Sit up. Dizzy?
Yeah, a little.
That'll wear off.
What will they do to Paul?
Well, they'll take him into custody and probably talk some sense to him.
Oh, this is awful.
You go up to your room now, Mrs. Forbes. We'll handle this. Oh, Upton, take Mrs. Forbes upstairs.
Yes, sir. You just come along, Miss Forbes.
Thank you.
She is not a well woman.
She looks all right to me.
I wish she were. I want to get an x-ray on that head. Can you come by the office this afternoon?
Yeah, I guess so.
Give me the police. I doubt if it's concussion or anything like that, but it's best to play safe.
You're a safe player all the time, aren't you, Doctor?
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Now, look here. I'm not good. Hello? Yes. I want to talk to somebody about a threat on my life. My name is Shepard. Dr. Charles Shepard.
When I left him, he was reporting Paul Forbes to the police. He gave them Forbes' description and the license number of the Plymouth Forbes was driving. I didn't stay beyond that. Maybe I should have. Maybe I should never have left that house. I'm not sure, but if I hadn't left, I might have saved a life.
Now, here's our star to tell you about tomorrow's intriguing episode of this week's story.
Tomorrow, well, the big lie is as true as little green apples. Join us, won't you, when I bite into one and spit out a bullet. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, is transcribed in Hollywood. Written by John Dawson, it is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. Be sure to join us tomorrow night, same time and station, for the next exciting episode of Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Roy Rowan speaking.
And, of course, Parley Bear in there playing the part of the doctor. April 17th, 1956, yours truly, Johnny Dollar. here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Hope you will take a moment to thank this radio station and support their advertisers. It is their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time we're here on your favorite radio station. And I know you've heard me say this a bunch, but if you miss a day on this station, you don't have to miss a single episode. All of our shows are available through iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, TuneIn, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Amazon, or Facebook. Just search for Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. That's Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. And you can also visit my webpage and hear the shows there. ClassicRadio.stream. You can stream the shows there, learn about Classic Radio Collection and building a collection of your own. And you can also contact me there, ClassicRadio.stream. Thank you for tuning in. Tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.